give me a location.
Tatooine! Tatooine!
Jabba's palace.
So the only thing that you can tell me is that I will find Jabba at Jabba's palace.
We are getting very close to the end of the Clone Wars. This week we are taking a look at the 5th season. I'm Joey from Radio Free Coruscant, and this is every ship and vehicle in the Clone Wars Season 5.
Ahsoka, punch a hole for the gunships to get through.
I know the drill, Master.
Episode 1, Revival. In the intro of the first episode, we see a Terrapin-class bulk tanker, a Gozanti-class freighter, and a Taylander shuttle. Afterwards, we see the Cyblock transfer station, an Eta-class shuttle, a YV-865 Aurore-class freighter, and a Corona-class armed frigate. Later, we see the wreckage of several ships, including an LAAT, a Paladin-class corvette named the Crucible, and some unidentifiable ships. Later still, we see Flare Star-class attack shuttles and Starhawk speeder bikes. Episode 2, A War on Two Fronts. In Episode 2, we see armored assault tanks, C-9979 landing craft, a new class attack shuttle, and multi-troop transports. Episode 3, Frontrunners. In Episode 3, we see Comfort Ride passenger airspeeders, an XJ2 airspeeder, an MTT, and AATs. Episode 4, The Soft War. The only vehicles in this episode are the MTT and AAT. Episode 5, Tipping Points. In this episode, we see HMP droid gunships, AATs, MTTs, Anakin's Delta 7B Aethersprite Interceptor, and Hondo's personal luxury yacht 3000. Episode 6, The Gathering. Episode 6 shows us the Crucible, LAATs, and a Delta 7B. Episode 7, A Test of Strength. The only ships in Episode 7 are the Crucible and Hondo's Corona-class frigate, the Acushnet. Episode 8, Bound for Rescue. In addition to the previous ships, we see 3 Venator-class Star Destroyers, including Kenobi's flagship, the Negotiator, and a separatist fleet of Providence-class dreadnoughts, Recusant-class light destroyers, Munificent-class frigates, and Vulture droids. Later, we see an Arquitens-class light cruiser, clone Z-95 headhunters, BTLB Y-wings, an automated Sheathipede-class shuttle, HMP droid gunships, and LAATs. Later, we also find WLO-5 battle tanks, Starhawk speeder bikes, and finally a YV-865. Episode 9, A Necessary Bond. In addition to several of the ships from earlier in this story arc, we also see C-9979s, AATs, MTTs, single trooper aerial platforms, General Grievous's combat speeder, and the wreckage of a G9 Rigger-class light freighter. In Hondo's ship collection, we also see a personal luxury yacht 3000, HH-87 Starhoppers, Slave 1, and an HCT 2001 Dragonboat-class freighter. Later, we also see Pelta-class frigates, ARC-170s, a YV-666 light freighter, ATTEs, Y-wings, and ADRTs. Episode 10, Secret Weapons. In Episode 10, we can see Venators, Acclimator-class assault ships, Providences, Munificents, and Recusants in the intro. Later, we also see LAATs, a Delta 7B, a Maxillipede-class shuttle, Gozanti cruisers, Vulture droids, and Hyena droid bombers. Episode 11, A Sunny Day in the Void. The only ship in this episode is the Maxillipede shuttle, though there is also the wreckage of an unknown ship, possibly an H2 executive shuttle. Episode 12, Missing in Action. In this episode, we see a Panther police interceptor, a Starhawk swoop bike, an RGC-16 airspeeder, a Venator, and a Rho-class transport shuttle. Episode 13, Point of No Return. In Episode 13, we see the 2 Republic ships from the previous episode, as well as Valor Station, several Arquitens, Consular-class cruisers, a Republic space tug, and a Y-wing. Episode 14, Eminence. In this episode, we see an escape pod, several Kamerk-class fighter transports, a Balutar-class swoop bike, Black Sun Gozanti cruisers, several Sarisa-class gunships, and HH-87 Starhoppers. Episode 15, Shades of Reason. In this episode, we see most of the ships from the previous episode, as well as Mandalorian hover taxis. Episode 16, The Lawless. In Episode 16, we see more of those ships, plus Björk Aurore-class speeders, Anakin's G9 Rigger-class light freighter, the Twilight, Separatist and civilian Gozanti freighters, a Shekelesh-class freight gunship, and finally Chancellor Palpatine, or Darth Sidious's, custom Eta-class shuttle. Episode 17, Sabotage. Episode 17 brings us Munificence, LAATs, Z-95s, Eta-2 Actis-class light interceptors, Venators, Charger C-70 cruisers, Vulture droids, a Providence droid tri-fighters, a Praxis Mark I turbo speeder, RGC-16 airspeeders, many unidentified ships and airspeeders, and Comfort Ride passenger airspeeders. Episode 18, The Jedi Who Knew Too Much. This episode contains several of the ships from the previous episode, as well as Y-Wings, an Acclimator, HAVW A6 Juggernaut turbo tanks, ATTEs, Arquitens cruisers, and ARC-170s at the Republic base. In the Coruscant underworld, we also see a Taylander shuttle, GS-100 salvage ships, a Shekelesh-class freight gunship, a Rainhawk-class transport, and a Coruscant freighter. Episode 19, To Catch a Jedi. In Episode 19, we see Taylander shuttles, Gozanti freighters, a YV-865, Panther police interceptors, Bark speeders, a hover train, LAAT-LE police gunships, and hover taxis. Episode 20, The Wrong Jedi. In the final episode of the season, we can see ATTEs, Y-Wings, LAATs, and most of the other Republic ships already seen in this story arc. And that's every ship and vehicle in the Clone Wars Season 5. As usual, let me know what your favorite ship and episode in Season 5 is, and subscribe so you don't miss an installment. I'll see you next week. RFC, out.